You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
What is going on? Matt O'Leary with Mitch Anderson. Mitch, day 2 of the NHL draft has come and gone, and we figured to hop on today and talk some day 2 prospects from the 2nd through 7th round.
Absolutely. Couldn't hear you there for the first little bit, which is why I was giving the weird face. Also notice in our intro, Noah Dobson does not make an appearance, so we don't have to make an edit to that now that Noah Dobson is gone.
I didn't even pick up on that, but this is good to know.
Yeah, he's just looking out for that now. But yeah, we got like 6 more guys. We're not talking about rounds 1 where we got 3 guys. So a total of 9 players added to our prospect pool within 2 days. Let's talk about the 6 guys that we added afterwards that were, let's be honest, most of us kind of dropped off and probably weren't paying attention.
No, but I think it's, if you're maybe weren't around day to day, all day, it's a long thing. Like, all right, pop in, see who we got and what they're all about here. Starting in the 2nd round, Mitch, Islanders take Russian prospect Denil Procarov from St. Petersburg Dynamo Jr. Had 27 points, 20 goals in 43 games. He is a big son of a bitch at 6'5", 209 pounds.
He's only 18, right? 218 is what I'm seeing here on Elite Prospects, but still 6'6", 218. Whichever way you want to slice it, it's still massive. Heavy hitter, physical as all hell. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously because we thought that with Matias Rajanemi, and that's not the case. And then he's adding decent levels of production, 20 goals and 27 points in 43 games at the MHL level, which is like their version of the AHL over in Moss and in Russia. Just big guy, loves to hit, loves to hit. I don't know if I can find his hitting stats, because I know they don't have that on Elite Prospects, but they might have it over on the KHL. Even though he hasn't necessarily played a KHL game, sometimes you can find their MHL stats. So I'm going to try to do that while you maybe vamp a little bit. But it does seem like we like hitters, right? Those the last 2 hits there. Right?
Correct. I was going to say the last 2 picks at this point, obviously we know they took more, but whether you want to talk about Procarov in the 2nd round or Aitchison at 17, big and physical guys. I would imagine if Procarov has any chance at the next level meaning the NHL, it would be in a 4th line role. I don't really have any expectation higher than that for him. Do you?
No, I don't see anything more than that. So we'll see what comes of it and how he emerges. Also, you got to take into consideration Russian-born player, Russian-based player as well. This isn't a guy who's playing in another league, in like say the OHL or let's say the NCAA. He's in Russia, so when we see those guys will remain to be seen here. I'm just trying to find. I'm on the MHL website. He is 9th in the MHL for hits with 119 hits.
Okay.
In 43 games.
That kind of, in my opinion, at least, reinforces what I was saying in like 4th line physical, 4-checker, kind of a guy.
And not very many PIMs. Got 14 PIMs on the year, which is pretty low.
Nice.
In the top 8, no one has less than him. There's a guy just after him, Sergei Zhukov, who's got 115 hits with 12 penalty minutes. So like he's right where you would want him to be. Excellent stuff. In terms of physical forward, as you're saying, just 4-check physical forward and a colossal person.
How about Luca Romano, who was the Islanders' 3rd round pick, 74th overall? A little paisan from Toronto here, Mitch?
Absolutely. Big glow up in terms of not just production, but obviously NHLE when it comes to that production. 51 points in 67 games with 25 goals. So evenly spread production between goals and assists. Whereas last year for Kitchener only had 22 points in 56 games. So game kind of slowed down for him this year and doubled his NHLE. You're looking more at what it seems right now. And of course, we barely know these kids, and what they end up being might be very different than what we're projecting now, but it looks kind of like middle 6 center right there.
Yeah, best case scenario, I would say. And he's not huge, right? Like
No.
Hockey DB has him listed 5'11", 177. So, he's not a bigger center. Maybe he ends up playing wing because of that. He's a right-handed shot, if that's something that you care about. But yeah, I'm glad you called out the point increase. That's the biggest thing that stood out for me from this past year and the year prior, going from 22 points to 51.
Yeah, so an impressive glow up in draft year, which happens. We
Yeah.
also took him where we would expect, although some, like you're looking at the draft rankings, and some of them had Romano way before 74, which I think is a theme with most of our picks, including the first round. Most of our guys are taken maybe not well before, but either around or before after where they were expected to go. So they either fell to us or we took them. There was no reaching, is what I'm trying to say. We didn't reach for some random guy like, oh, we really liked it. We didn't pull a Pittsburgh Penguins, taking a guy like around early type of thing.
No, there was none of that. So good value across the board. Fourth round, Mitch, Tomas Pitin, I believe is how you pronounce the name. He is from the Czech Republic, no?
Correct. And playing in Finland for the Lahti Pelicans, mainly for their junior squad, right? He played, was 25 games, scoring nearly a point per game at their U20 level, 20 points, 13 goals. Played 15 games at the full-on Liga level, which is the professional league in Finland. Doing pretty well, not scoring a point, but like keeping up. Obviously did well enough to stick around for 15 games. It is Lahti, so let's not put a whole bunch of stuff into there, but like impressive stuff to see a kid playing at that level and then doing the goddamn thing at the international level, like 20 points in 24 games for the U18 team in all competitions.
Yeah, that's good. So playing against his own age group has done really well. We'll see for him. I would imagine going to stay over there and play in Liga again next year, right?
100%. Absolutely. Probably play the entire year in Liga. Maybe a little bounce back if you see a dip in production type of thing. But yeah, I think he might start the year at the U20 level and then work his way full-time into the full team, depending on how obviously his camp goes there.
Yeah. So wanted to call that one out. Not a ton of stats for him in Liga. Obviously, only the 15 games, didn't have any points, but international did look a little bit better. Back to defense here, Mitch, with Sam Lurilla.
I love this kid. I love this pick for the Islanders. Incredible value when you look at where he should have gone, like Craig Button 75, McKean's 95, 74. We got him at 138. But you're talking about maybe not pure offensive, but certainly an offensive first defenseman. Decent size, 6'1", 192. So we're not talking about a guy who's like 5'10", putting up a bunch of points. This is a big body here and bunch of points. 41 points in 57 games at the USHL level last year. You love to see that. And he's committed next year to the University of North Dakota, which is a massive program. If they're interested in him, that means something already.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that's a really good program there in the NCAA. And you never know. Like sometimes with these mid-round guys, I know it's been a little bit since the Islanders have had a big hit in the mid-round. There's been some prospects we've talked about, but none that really made a huge NHL play yet.
Yeah.
But excited to see how he grows his game at the collegiate level now. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like he started off with a lot of promise at the U15 level, scoring well over 2 points per game. It was like my webpage apparently won't load anymore. Elite Prospects is just running way too hot, obviously. But 113 points in 56 games is what I remember playing. He had at the U15 level. Enough for the U.S. National Development Program to be like, oh shit, okay, we got to take a look at this kid. And played for them and really didn't stand out too much. But you've seen that from time to time. Kids are just, they take a big step. And then when it comes to taking the next step, they kind of take a step back. And it may have happened here for what was his name again? Sam. My God. I kept having Luca on the brain, but it was Sam Lurilla. Yeah. He might step back up again. We saw it here at the USHL level. Can he do so now that he's going to the NCAA with the Fighting Hawks, which again, great program to join, great, like all the resources in the world, like their arena is world-class, borderline NHL level with the resources they've got. It seems insane stuff.
Yeah. Really, really impressive. To the 6th round we go, Mitch. Goalie time. All-time name, too, by the way. Burke Hood.
Love it. Burke Hood. Stats are fine, right? Like we can't make too much about this. It's a goalie. He might turn into something. Goalies are goddamn voodoo. We have no idea.
Played in the WHL for the Vancouver Giants. .910 save percentage last year in the regular season. Did not have a good playoffs. No. 863 and a 640 goals against in 5 games, which is not pretty, but small sample.
Yeah, and again, it's goaltending. None of us, there's no one here who can say definitively how a goalie is going to project going forward because we haven't figured it out yet. None of us, not a single one of us has figured out how to project goalies going forward. But we've also got time with this goalie. We got Gidlov coming, right? We've still got Sorokin signed to 1 billion years. So we're going to be fine. We don't need to rush anyone, which is why you're like, whatever. We have to take a goalie every year, or you should. We're going to take one in the 6th and see what happens.
I was just going to say that's the position where it's like you take a flyer every round. Not every round. I'm sorry. Every year at some point. And it doesn't have to be early. We've seen goalies hit in the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds. Like
Sorokin, right? 3rd round pick.
Great example. It happens a lot. And I think that's a reason why you don't see a ton of goalies go very high in the draft anymore. It's because you really get your value. Kind of reminds me of like, to make the comparison to the NFL running backs.
Yeah.
Some league's changing a little bit, but for the most part, you find your running backs in like the 2nd to 4th or 5th round. You kind of say the same thing for goalies. So TBD on him, but he does have a great name. So I was going to go to my name Hall of Fame.
Love it. And then, yeah, Jacob Kvasnica. There we go. Drafted here, last one by the Islanders. Decent enough production here, but we're talking about 7th round pick, right? So like sometimes 7th round picks be 7th round picks. You saw what it was. It Park, who was drafted like 3rd to last, still there in his sweater and shorts when he got drafted on the draft floor. It's just hilarious, but you never know, man. Like these kids could turn into something.
Yeah, you never know. He played for the U.S. National Development Team. 27 games, 14 points. Is he committed to a college? Do you know of?
I believe so. I think his trajectory, he's going to the WHL, I think, next year. Yeah. Okay. Apparently he's committed to the Penticton Vs. Never heard of that team out of the WHL. With University of Minnesota is what they have on Elite Prospects for 26, 27. So we'll see with this kid. He's only 17, turns 18 August 10th.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a late bloomer here, huh?
Yeah, we're talking about a young kid, probably one of the youngest kids in the draft.
Okay. So not a huge deal. Obviously 7th round there. We'll see where he ends up, but just wanted to come on here today and give you a little something on each one of these guys. We're not going to pretend that we know everything about the 202nd player drafted today or yesterday by the time we're recording this, but do think we could at least give you a little nugget on each guy and something to look for.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to sit here and act like professionals in terms of fully scouting these players because we haven't. And same thing with myself when I did Deckhands. I never did the pre-scout on all the players available for the draft. My thing was once they become Islander prospects, now I'm going to pay attention to them, see what we've got and see their development from there. So that's what we're going to do throughout this channel is follow all these kids, not just these ones, but everyone in the prospect pool, which is now a lot with another 9 kids.
Another huge draft class that the Islanders added yesterday. We broke down the full 1st round haul today. Wanted to do some day 2 stuff. Make sure I'll plug it now. Sign up to the Patreon, patreon.com/uptheturnpike. We're doing a full hour-long podcast on this weekend and the Noah Dobson trade becoming official. You get access to the Discord as well. So a lot of content over there, a lot of content over here. So subscribe and like the video before you go away.
Please do. It helps us big time.
That'll do it. I'm Matt. He's Mitch, and we'll catch you next time.